really want is just a little respect. And this is the thanks I get.
So I recently came around to watching a new Disney movie called Wish. Remember? The one that made this?
And this is the thanks I get.
Well, this movie pissed me off, as well as a bunch of other people, but the question is why? Well, let's go through them. The animation was terrible and looked unfinished. The story and script felt like it was generated by AI. And then there's the music.
And this is the thanks I get.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
So it got me thinking, when was the last time we've seen an amazing animated musical? So naturally, I turned to alternative forms of entertainment and stumbled across this show on Amazon Prime called Hazbin Hotel. By the end of the first episode, I noticed a lot of similarities between the two projects. Both have their fair share of flaws, for sure, but one was clearly made by people who cared about what they were doing and stuck the landing, while the other fell on its stupid face. So this is what this video is going to be dissecting: why one works and why one fails. And before you say anything, I'm well aware one's meant for children and the other's meant for adults, but the principles for what makes a good musical and story still apply to both. Now let's move on, starting with... So both Wish and Hazbin have the same leading character trope, coming around to being known as the adorkable princess. A girl who's a bit quirky and clumsy, but at their core is a good person who wants to do the right thing for others. Only difference is, one's a likable underdog, and the other's a Why is this? Well, I think a lot has to do with each character's motivation. You see, Charlie is the daughter of Lucifer and the Princess of Hell. Her goal in the series is to create a rehabilitation center for sinners, giving them a second chance at redemption and a possible spot in heaven. The only problem is, Heaven and the series' antagonist, Adam, don't believe they can be changed and want to continue their slaughter of Hell's population. Now let me be clear, what the angels are doing is clearly wrong. However, the interesting conflict arises when Charlie's belief that anyone can change is put into question. Can we really believe people presented in the show like Valentino, a producer who relishes in mentally abusing his actors into doing essentially depraved torture for entertainment, even deserved redemption? Or even the character Alistair, who we don't know the true intentions of yet, but from what we do know is a former serial killer wanting to create complete destruction and chaos so he can seize power in hell. Do monsters like these really deserve a chance? You see, when you throw questions like this in, it adds a layer of complexity to the main character's belief system, and creates an interesting discussion around the themes of redemption and if people really deserve it. Now let's contrast this with Asha from Wish. She lives in a kingdom where King Magnifico rules over all. He has the power to grant people's wishes, and if they remain loyal to him, hand over their wishes, which they will subsequently forget, he will grant them one day. The shocking reveal comes when Asha realizes Magnifico won't grant everyone's wishes because it's either too vague or, as he puts it, just not meant to be. Also, later in the movie, he realizes he can, like, absorb their wishes and that makes him powerful or something. Yeah, it's out of nowhere and really dumb. However, when the information is revealed to Asha, this is where her naivety shows. She should come to the realization that, yeah, Magnifico is wrong in taking away everyone's wishes and thinking he alone should control them, but the fundamental belief that he has in not everyone's wishes should be granted actually makes sense. In fact, there's people online defending him saying he was right. So the film obviously makes her grow up and realize the danger of letting everyone's deepest desires come true could cause untold danger and harm. Right? No, it doesn't. Magnifico is defeated and everyone's wishes come true. So remember, kids, if anyone restricts you from doing anything you wish, it's because they are evil and need to be defeated. Overthrow all existing power structures. Down with capitalism. All hail communism as the one true economic system. This film fundamentally believes there is no scenario where the king's belief has some merit, and thus not only makes for a bland discussion surrounding its themes, but also sends a very problematic and potentially harmful message to spread to impressionable babies. Let me be clear, I'm not saying Disney can't have this messaging. Of course they can. Free speech, baby. All I'm doing is pointing out the potential problems with the philosophical implications Wish is making. I also wanted to mention, even the tagline of this movie is in direct contradiction of the message. Be careful what you wish for? Why? The lesson was our wishes should be granted no matter what. Did you even care when making this, Disney? Let's move on to point 2. I'm going to be honest. Musicals aren't necessarily my cup of tea. I'm not a theater kid. But I get why people love them and consider it their favorite genre of storytelling. There's a lot of hard work that goes into creating songs and having them tell a story. One aspect I love about musicals is not just how the song a character sings can tell you a lot about their personality, goals, and motivations, but how the environment around them can enhance the experience of a song, adding to the emotion a character's trying to express. What I also love about musicals is when the villain gets a song. Dude, Disney used to be so good at this. There's so many classics. Be Prepared, Cruella de Vil, or my personal favorite villain song of all time, Hellfire from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like Disney's days of old, Hazbin Hotel excels at villain songs. Wish, of course, does not. This Is the Thanks I Get has been torn apart for its lyrics, feeling like they're AI generated, so I'm not going to go too far into that. What I will analyze though is how the songs in Hazbin push the story forward and give us insight into the characters' wants and personalities. The one I want to analyze in particular is the villain song, Stayed Gone. So in Hell there are powerful overlords. One of them, named Vox, wants control over all forms of media, especially television broadcast. He equally hates and is afraid of the character Alistair, who is the radio demon. We don't know exactly what happened between them, but from what we're told, Vox was beaten by Alistair over something. But since Alistair has disappeared over the past 7 years, Vox has taken over media, replacing Alistair's outdated radio broadcast in favor of television. So when Alistair is back, Vox is enraged and wants to send a message to all of Hell and to Alistair that he is in charge now.
Welcome home. I'm gonna make you wish that you'd stayed gone.
Right off the bat, you can tell Vox is furious over the situation. The music creates a sinister tone in portraying his mindset. Alongside that, the imagery of him in a dark room controlling all these monitors shows the power he has, making us believe he is the new power in Hell. The lyrics achieve this as well. But then, something happens.
Top of the hour, and we're discussing a certain has-been who has been spotted.
The song changes styles entirely into swing jazz. The style change doesn't just keep the song interesting, but serves a narrative purpose as well. He's frantically talking and comes across as manic. This is because the persona of a man in control he was giving us in the beginning was a facade. He is in fact terrified of Alistair and what he'll do to him if he gets back in power. All while he's singing, Alistair is just smiling and going around setting up his radio broadcast. Then, there's another twist in the song.
Salutations! Good to be back on the air!
The song then becomes a duel between Alistair and Vox. Both of them are fighting for control, but of course Alistair comes out on top, using his quick wits and Vox's insecurities against him. Then, we get the final section of the song. The song now goes back to the beginning melody, only this time Alistair is singing it. Now Alistair is showing all of Hell and Vox who is in control. Not only does he use his own technology and melody against Vox, he uses his own lyrics against him. I'm gonna make you wish that I'd stayed gone. The song accomplishes several things. 1. It kept the atmosphere tense through the music and visuals. 2. Displayed the character's personality, strengths, and weaknesses through lyrics and actions. And 3. The musical style was appropriate for the emotional state both characters were exhibiting. This scene is so good, and perfectly displays how a musical should be done. This isn't a traditional villain song, since the perspective is between two villains at once, but the nature of it is still there. Now, let's compare this masterpiece to this pile of So Asha made a wish and it came true without the power of Magnifico. It's kept secret, but the kingdom knows something is wrong. Magical things are happening around them and they don't understand. Magnifico, now aware of this, is threatened by the power someone else has. He tells them that there is a traitor amongst them, and whoever finds them will get their wish granted. This distracts them for a while, and while that's happening, he breaks out into song, not being able to comprehend how someone could betray him after all he's done.
I can't help it if mirrors love my face. It's genetics. Yeah, I got these genes from outer space.
It's so bad. Right off the bat, it's so bad. So first of all, Why on earth is he talking about his genetics and handsome face? What does this have to do with him being betrayed? I get that it's showing how narcissistic he is, but the fact that he starts out singing about his looks rather than his betrayal just makes this a confusing start. On top of that, what about this imagery is threatening? It's filled with nice colors, and even when he's surrounded in more darkness, he just comes across as a nice guy with a reasonable grudge, as opposed to a threatening, power-hungry maniac. It's one or the other, you can't have both. The only time he becomes a little bit threatening in the song is during the bridge. It comes so close to being something special, but it just goes back to being generic pop. Now before I continue, I want to make something clear. Having a more lighthearted or humorous villain isn't a bad thing. Hazbin Hotel has this very thing in the form of Adam. He even has a song that's upbeat and catchy like Magnifico. The difference is that character is written to be an over-the-top dude bro who is so deep in his unlikableness, he comes around to being fun to watch. You get what they were going for and it works wonderfully. The problem with Magnifico is I have no clue who he is. Is he a power-hungry maniac who we need to see as an ominous threat? Or is he just a spoiled jock who needs to be taken down a peg or two? I don't know, because I don't think the movie does either. He flip-flops between these two states so many times I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about him. This song fails not just lyrically and musically, but also in our understanding of his character on a fundamental level. Now on to my final point. Hazbin Hotel, for all its flaws, has so much it does well. For one, the animation is vibrant and always interesting to observe. Not only are the sets and locations detailed masterpieces, but so are the individual characters. Everyone has such a unique design. Even people in the backgrounds are distinct from one another. You can tell they put so much thought and passion into every frame. You can also tell through the music, performances, and writing that the people behind this gem of a show wanted to make something special. I can't say the same for Wish. I can at least say animation-wise they tried to do something different, kind of copying that 3D meets 2D style from the Spider-Verse or that Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem movie. The difference is that they made it look good. Disney either tried to replicate it and failed, or tried and gave up halfway through. Everything in this movie feels so generic, so pandering, and most of all, passionless. It's as if everyone didn't care about this film on all levels. The studio, the writing, and the overworked animators. Don't worry, I don't blame the animators for this. I know they're overworked and probably tried everything they could to salvage this, but there's just nothing to work with. There's also been recent rumors going around about how Disney has been in a bit of a pickle since the pandemic. There's been massive layoffs and projects being cancelled left and right. It seems the once great media empire is collapsing. I think this is a time of great change in entertainment, and we might be in store of a revitalization of independent artists flourishing. Disney needs to hop on this if they want to survive. Say what you want about Amazon. They've made some terrible, generic corporate crap like Disney, ruining entire IPs in sake of the message. But for every bad project they greenlit, they also gave chances to smaller scale shows that were either a risky gamble or made by independent artists. Shows like The Boys, Reacher, and now Hazbin Hotel. Disney needs to stop spending millions of dollars on things they know no one will enjoy. Learn to spend less and take risks. Otherwise, people will find other ways to find quality animation again.